Hi, and welcome to the Corporate Warriors podcast. My name is Fela, and in this episode, we're going to talk about the 4 success variables for your career that nobody's talking about. So, why is this relevant? Of course, as a career coach, I know that all you guys care about, it seems sometimes, is how do I write my CV? How do I apply for a better job? How do I get a raise? And while all of those are important, there's more to your career success than just learning some hard skills. And in this episode, we're going to talk about the mindset shift that you need to do in order to advance in your career regularly, steadily, and with ease. So let's dive in. So the number one of the success variables that you probably didn't think about, but that we keep on literally also forgetting, it's not just that we're not consciously thinking about it, but we keep on forgetting it. It's that you are, and you alone, are the creator of your career. Now, in those days, in those times that we're living, people are so easily falling into victim mode. And if you are falling into victim mode at home, or in your social life, the probability is really, really high that you have a similar pattern going on at your workplace. So what does that mean? It means that you are not aware and don't take full advantage of the fact that you can do whatever it is that you want to do, right? So you don't need to wait for an HR department to come up with a career planning. You don't need to wait for your boss to get that promotion. Now, yes, I agree. If you want to stay in the same company and that's all that you want, then there are some variables that you need to work with. But overall, it's your responsibility to keep things moving. Even if you didn't get the pay raise the first time, how do you continue talking about it? Is there another strategy that you could adapt, that you can come up with in your free or private time to use it? So for instance, you didn't get the salary increase. Well, what about next time you have a review asking for a bonus plan, like a variable component linked to objectives that make sense for you and for your boss? So that is just one example. Obviously, you can also switch workplaces, etc. We all know that. But you have to stay in creator mode. And just trying once and then abandoning it, that is not creator mode. So stay in creator mode throughout your whole career. And if you feel yourself falling back into victim mode, feeling like no matter what you do, the decision is up to other people and other people have more influence on your career success than you do, then get back, take a deep breath, and set yourself back up for success by switching into creator mode again and ask yourself, what is it that I can do today to get one step closer to the goal that I've set myself, to what I want to achieve? And beware, because there are people out there that want to keep you in victim mode, because let's say you have a toxic leader, narcissistic boss. All they do is they want to keep you in victim mode and want to play the protector and then be able to really just do whatever they want without respecting what your desires are. So if you stay in creator mode, you are not going to fall victim to those kinds of toxic management either. And once you understand you have the power, the decisions that you can make are so much more coming from your heart. So you are coming in with a whole different energy. You can think more freely. Are you want to stay or leaving the company? You can think more freely. Do you want to stay in the company or leave the company? Or do you want to have a whole change of careers? And remember, all is possible. You don't need anybody to get there except yourself. Second success variable is making sure that you keep on focusing on what you can control. And this is really, really important. Many times we set our objectives to an expectation that includes other people. And this is very hard for us because we cannot control other people, at least not to the extent that, that we could actually influence them to achieve our own objectives, at least not regularly in the long term. Of course, yes, there are ways and whatnot, but overall, if you focus on what you can control, if you focus and set your objectives and expectations on things that you can control, then you are the only one that you need to get there. Meaning, the more and more you do it, you build up your self-confidence, the trust in yourself. And you can set higher and higher goals because you just know that if it's up to you, you're going to make it. Okay, so what is it that you can control? What do you keep on laying off? What do you keep on not doing, even though you really know that it would be good for you in your career? What's, for instance, your routine? With what kind of energy do you come into the office? Are you happy, open-minded, and communicative? Those are things that you can decide to be. And if you say, well, but I'm not a good communicator, there are podcasts like this one out there that literally teach you step by step. There's so many free resources. There's ChatGPT. There's no excuse anymore. As long as you can control it, you can change it too. What do you do to regulate your nervous system, for instance? We all know that if we are in a fight or flight mode, we cannot make good decisions for ourselves because we're in constant survival mode. So what is it that you can do to calm down your nervous system? How can you create a better feeling for your body and for what's going on inside of you so that you can actually take action? Okay? So those are things that are really helpful for your long-term success and satisfaction because, again, we want to create career success with ease and fun. It's not about pushing through, but finding routines like a gratitude journal, like a success journal that helps you stay motivated and live up to your own expectations. The third variable is to get clear on your vision, your values, and your non-negotiables. This is such an important one because I see people out there constantly underselling themselves because they are not clear on what their bare minimum is. You have as much power as your employer in regards to making the decision, in regards to making the decision if you stay or leave. Non-negotiables, to know your bare minimum, is hyper important in all parts of your life. But here we're talking about your career. So what is it that you do just not accept? And it doesn't mean that if you don't accept it, you quit straight away. You can talk with your manager, you can talk with your colleagues for whatever it is, and you can try to find solutions within the same corporation. So it does not necessarily mean giving everything up that you've worked so hard for, but you have to be aware of it. If you do not know your values, you might not know why you're super unhappy going to a certain workplace. Because if you talk to your friend about your boss that you really do not like, your friend who has perhaps different values than you might not see it, might be like, that sounds pretty normal, but you are super unhappy anyway. So why do you care at all? You need to know your own values, your own vision for your life and your career, and your bare minimum. And based on that, you create your own career schedule, right? And exactly the vision for your life is so, so important because life is like the big thing and the career is one part of the life, right? It's one piece of the puzzle. So depending on where you're at in life and what your vision for life is, your priorities might change. Whereas in the beginning, when we are straight out of college and we really are, looking forward to make that money, to prove ourselves, to see how fast we can go up that corporate ladder. In that situation, many times we prioritize money and career way higher than in later stages of our lives, when we might have a family to raise, when all of a sudden there are children in the picture, and you want to figure out a way, how can I change my career so that I make enough money to be comfortable, to be satisfied, but also have enough time to take care and spend time playing with my children. And that is totally fine, but you need to have the vision because, of course, your corporation doesn't really care about your family life. Why should they? Their goal is to increase the value for their shareholders if they're stock exchange listed. So you have to be aware of it. You have to have the vision for your life and deduct the vision for your career from that, and know your values. See if there's a match with your manager, with your corporation, with your team in terms of values, so that you can go to work every day and be happy and proud being part of the team. And know your bare minimum, what is not acceptable to you, and then stick with it. And then finally, the fourth variable that nobody talks about is healing old wounds. And in this podcast, we do talk about it a little bit more often, but it is really about making sure that you don't bring your old stuff, your triggers and your trauma into the workplace, because that way you can never make good decisions. You cannot be a good leader. Full stop. There's no way. If you don't take a look at what is bothering you inside, what is making you tick, why you overreact in certain situations and don't care in other situations, if you don't know that and never took a closer look, then you cannot be a good leader, because you cannot be really there for other people. You cannot help people getting motivated and help them achieve their career goals as a leader, help them develop if you feel insecure. Insecure leaders will not help develop their people. Insecure leaders will make sure that there's nobody in the team that could take away their space. If you have a problem of not feeling worthy enough, you will not do things that might be a little bit risky, because the risk is too high. Other people could detect that actually you are really not worthy. If you don't heal old money wounds as well, why would you give a raise to somebody else? Because if you feel there's a scarcity in this world, there's not enough money for everybody, if you give it to somebody else, you might not get it. If there is some kind of jealousy involved as well, you just cannot be a good leader. And also you cannot be a good colleague. You cannot be fully supportive. Then all of a sudden you're in this deep competition mode. And this is not a growth mindset. Okay. So go back and heal those old wounds. It's super important. And the earlier you do it, the more easy your career success will come to you and will feel for you, because you have a clear head. You know what you're doing and why you are doing it. And you can see the whole world as well as your corporation and career from a whole new perspective. And that is really, really important, because if you still are running around with triggers, with childhood trauma, with trauma, in terms of how your parents managed money, then it is so tough and it's draining and your nervous system will go nuts. So take care of it as soon as you can. Do the sessions, read the books, learn about healing old wounds, do the stuff yourself with guided meditations, or take a coach, whatever it is that you think is feasible for you. Some people might need hypnosis. If something really bad happened, you might need therapy from a psychotherapist. That's all fine. Start as early as you can to heal those old wounds, and then you can create a career vision and align your career path to that vision. And it will be so empowering, freeing, and just fulfilling. So that's how we get back to career happiness, career joy. And that is really what I want for you, because a career, again, it's 90,000 hours of our lives in the US that we spend working. If we have one job, one normal job, not including the commute or whatnot, we should really make sure that it is fun, that we enjoy it, and that we use it to our advantage as well. So that was it. The 4 variables that nobody talks about that you need in order to create a career and life of your dreams. Let me know in the comments if that was helpful and if you're already working on those variables yourself. I hope to see you next time. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel, and see you then. Bye.